We have seen them all, from the torturers like the Engineer to the ruthless ones like Pinhead. As the Hellraiser franchise goes to shit, losing all the essence of Barker's dark magic, more and more Cenobites fade away in the history of guest appearances. Today we are going to talk about another one of the forgotten Cenobites that, despite his grand personality, never got the limelight he deserved, not even in the pages. It is none other than Atkins, also known as Hell's bastard son. Let's get into the itty-bitty information that we have on this vicious Cenobite. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The brutal comrade. It was the time of the violent Vietnam War, where brutally wounded bodies were scattered all over the place and the smell of blood loomed in the air. Vietnamese soldiers were crawling under the dirt like earthworms. When a platoon of the U.S. Army arrived at the site, they realized that some Vietnamese soldiers had created underground tunnels as their hideout. Frustrated that they didn't have much of a kill count that day, their commander demanded that one of the soldiers should get in there and bring him the ears of all the soldiers hiding inside, after slaughtering them, of course. Following a brief silence, a heavy voice broke the hesitance of all the soldiers. It was Atkins, the most vicious of them all. Atkins volunteered to go into the tunnel, remarking that seems like a fun task. The commander told him that he wanted to hear the soldiers screaming through the dirt as Atkins slaughters them. With not much of a word, he took a pistol and went right in. After his departure, one of the soldiers asked if Atkins was going to be all right with that one pistol, as he believed they should have sent someone along. The commander chimed proudly that if Atkins was stuck naked with just a tiny penknife to fight against the hundreds of soldiers surrounding him, he would still come out of there unscathed. Under the tunnel, Atkins realized that it was some kind of maze, and he had a hard time finding his way in, but eventually came across the enemies. He killed around 5 Vietnamese soldiers until he found the 6th one. He asked where the other soldiers were, and the 6th one warned Atkins that he wouldn't be able to get out of the tunnel alive. He added that his platoon was protected by the Cenobites, but Atkins didn't let him finish the sentence and killed him, remarking that he has heard it all before. He was also bored and just wanted to get over with it. Deciding to go no further in that labyrinth of a place, he assured himself that his commander would have to be okay with the 6 ears he was bringing him. The torturer of circumstance. While Atkins was trying to get out of that tunnel, he kept arriving at the same place over and over again. Fed up and frustrated, Atkins finally decided to dig up the tunnel to get to the surface, because when in doubt, go up. He manages to reach the surface, hoping to be greeted by his platoon, but gets an unpleasant surprise of meeting 3 weird-looking creatures. The surface is lit by a stream of supernatural light as a giant black diamond floats in front of him. The 3 creatures are the Cenobites we have not seen before or later. Atkins calls one of them Laughing Boy and the other Blue Boy. Unbeknownst to him, he was actually solving a puzzle that grants applications for Cenobite recruitment. They congratulate him on solving the tunnel puzzle and remark that they are here to take him away to hell as he is recruited as a Cenobite. He is going to be sent to a construction chamber to be remade and turned into a Cenobite so that he can join their clan. Atkins, being Atkins, remarks that he is not going anywhere, and he doesn't even seem alarmed at their appearances. He just brushes it off as just another messed up thing in the war. He declares that he is going to go back to his platoon, but the Cenobites exclaim that if he doesn't come with them voluntarily, they will take him by force. This only gives Atkins another kick of adrenaline rush as he prepares to fight with these weird creatures. Although the comic ends there, we can assume that Atkins became a Cenobite as his viciousness was introduced to us in other comics. The Cenobite Killer. Atkins' rank can be matched up to that of the Doctor, as he was also allowed to kill his fellow Cenobite when it was absolutely necessary. He was seen in the Pinhead comic series while he went on missions with the Hell Priest and other Cenobites. A Cenobite with a long neck covered with lines of rings. No, he is not a Parius. This one is known as Doomsayer. He has 8 pins on his forehead above his eyebrows, well, obviously. Along with his intense red eyes, he slays a black leather outfit like any other Cenobite. In the Pinhead comic book, Doomsayer became woke and started a rebellion against Leviathan. He demanded answers from the authority about the mysterious reoccurring disappearances of his fellow Cenobites. Doomsayer was giving one of his rebellious speeches during the rally when Atkins just sprayed a bunch of bullets, severing Doomsayer's head off, killing him with no kindness. If that wasn't proof enough of his cruelty, he proceeded to take the head and throw it away. In the same comic Pinhead issue number 1, Pinhead falls into his past incarnations and is not able to return to his present self. His companions, including Atkins, Face, Balberith, Gehenna, etc., group together to get Pinhead out of the abyss he is trapped in. During this journey, these Cenobites were able to learn about their human life before being recruited in the torture army. The Vasa iniquitatis. Sister Flagellum is a Cenobite priestess that is also known as the Watcher of the Order. She is devoid of any sensations as she sleeps in the center of hell. All she does is dream of Echidna and Basilisk, who are the demons made to maintain order in hell, while also dreaming about hell's pure order. Leviathan only disturbs her sleep when he has some serious matter at hand. One such matter being the 1991 time configuration. In the story depicted in the Devil's Brigade series called Call to Arms, Leviathan awakens Flagellum because of the chaos rising from anarchy that is about to spread through hell. As Flagellum is responsible for maintaining order in hell, she is instructed to get the situation back to normal by Leviathan. She embarks upon the journey to uncover the mystery behind hell's imbalance and asks Leviathan for his help. Through his wisdom and power, she learns that hell is going to be broken into several ages of chaos. Much to her shock, she witnesses that Echidna and Basilisk, the demons who were supposed to dance for eternity, have killed each other. There are 6 human nexus points of the time configuration that need to be taken care of if they want to stop hell from going south. To prevent this eternal doom, she decides to gather a group of strong Cenobites. She first summons Atkins, the Cenobite in charge of hell's armory. Atkins, as we already know, was a man who never feared anything. Still, even in hell, he is brave enough to call Leviathan a bastard black diamond, even though it is considered blasphemy. Instead of being angry at him though, Leviathan is always amused by Atkins' courage, and he knows that Atkins' no bullshit attitude is what he needs in his army. Then they go to Face, who runs the Grand Theater in hell. He used to be an actor back when he was a human, but started killing people to steal their faces. He continued wearing his stolen faces even in hell when he became a Cenobite. He continued his job as an entertainer even in hell while openly fulfilling his torturous desires. When Flagellum approached him for the job, he even asked her which face he should put, a tragic one or a joyful one. The next Cenobite she summons is Abigor, who is a beautiful female Cenobite rumored to be Cleopatra. Some even say that she was the Helen of Troy, whose beauty was the reason for the Trojan War. Her true history is still unknown though. The 4th Cenobite she summons is Balberith, another female Cenobite that works in Hell's library where the books are made out of human flesh. She used to be a mother of an ill child, and in a desperation to save her kid, she fell into the trap of summoning the Cenobites and ended up becoming one, never to see her son again. Lastly, none other than the Pinhead is summoned by Leviathan himself. The Hell Priest himself is called and labeled the Favored One for understanding Leviathan better than anyone else. Together, these 5 form a group called Casa Iniquitatis. They are assigned different human nexus points of time configuration to prevent them from unfolding the chaos. During this mission, the summoned Cenobites go on a journey where their pasts and origins are revealed to them as they deal with the human nexus simultaneously. Face almost fails to aid his human nexus point, but Pinhead saves the day and literal hell by finally declaring victory of order over chaos. The coolest powers of all. Have you watched those action films where the main leads ignore the big guns and choose the smallest possible one to go against the villain? So frustrating! Well, you won't have to worry about that with Atkins, as his powers include having a never-ending bandolier of bullets embedded in his collarbone. He is able to summon any weapon he desires, sponsored and empowered by none other than Leviathan himself. Not just that, he is also able to turn his body parts into weapons with limitless ammunition. Having a history of military service, Atkins is remarkably equipped in close quarters combat. He is obviously immortal and has no effect of bullets or any other weapon. His healing properties are also fascinatingly quick and easy. His weapon of choice is usually high-caliber machine guns and occasionally some explosives, but we have learned that even a combat knife is enough for him to slash through his enemies. Marvelous verdict. Although we don't know much about Atkins due to his guest appearances in Hellraiser comics, where he usually remains in the background as a vicious Cenobite, he can undoubtedly be considered one of the most sinister Cenobite to ever walk Earth. His history of cruelty, courage, and apathy, even as a human, proved him to be a worthy torturer before even joining the clan. It will be satisfying to watch him use his infinite supply of weapons if we ever get to see him on the big screen. What are your thoughts on Atkin and his limited appearance in the comics? Let us know in the comment box below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.